Hey folks, welcome to eCommerce 360. Today we have David Hieatt, who is the co-founder of Hiut Denim Company, which is a globally renowned denim company that produces over 12,000 pair of jeans a year from a small town in West Wales. Thanks, David, for coming on our show.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I was just reading the growth story, the origin of Hiut Denim, and I should say that it was extremely heartwarming. I'm sure a lot of e-commerce brands, especially in UK, know a bit about your backstory, but it is always interesting when we get to hear it from the founder himself.
Sure. I mean, really, Hiut Denim is a story of a town, and a town that used to make jeans and then made 35,000 pairs every week for 40 years. And then suddenly, one day, it stopped. And a maker town stopped making. And 400 people, world-class makers had nothing to make. And that was back in 2002. And so this town, whose identity was a maker town, suddenly didn't make anymore. And that happens, right? I mean, manufacturing goes away, but it ever so rarely comes back. And actually, this is a story of like a town going, "Hey, we can make again," and that's why it's so odd, because it's not normal. Manufacturing never, if it goes away, it really comes back.
So I think you're being extremely modest here. But we all know that, there must have been a lot of hard work and a lot of sweat gone in to actually, recreating what the town was about, or recreating the magic in that particular manufacturing facility. So when you started, I'm sure it's a story about, recreating the manufacturing facility, but there's a whole another story on how to market it. What was your unique brand positioning initially when you started marketing it, especially online?
Yeah, I mean, we had some luck. We were in the right town with the right skills, and there was this amazing thing happening called the internet. And when those three things came together, it meant that we could go and make one of the best jeans in the world and sell it directly to our customers. So we could make the best jean, but actually, if we had to go and sell it to shops, there wasn't enough margin for us to be a business. But having this thing called the internet, century-defining thing called the internet, you go, woohoo! So it was kind of like the right place, right town, right skills. And we had some luck, and the convergence of the intersection of all those things is the happy place. And we still had a lot to do, right? Because build it and they will come is actually a lie. And people go, "Oh, build it and they will come." You go, no. Have you seen the internet? And have you seen how busy it is? People say to me, "Oh, which is the most important skill for you, Dave? Is it making or is it selling?" And I have my answer for that is, well, which leg is the most important for you? Like, is it your left leg or your right leg? And so, our left leg is making, our right leg is selling. They're both important because we both need each other. And so if we can sell and we can make, we have a business. If we can only do one of those things, it's tricky.
That's a fascinating story. So let's talk about social media marketing and influencer marketing, which I'm sure you are leveraging when you speak about internet marketing over internet. How are these important to your brand? And how much have you leveraged social media or influencer marketing to help your brand grow in revenue, or just, not just revenue, in influence as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of things there. I mean, because this is an odd story. So we had so much in terms of publicity at the start. we had all these orders. We had 6 months worth of orders in the first month. And so I made this decision, which was a stupid, dumb decision. I decided that I'd actually turn off our website, which if anyone's listening right now, even if you have loads of demand, don't switch your internet off. It's a disaster. Because my decision process was I'll go and hire more people, and I'll go and get all those orders that we have out so they don't have to wait too long. I did that, and 4 months later or so, we turned on the internet back on, and everybody had forgotten about us. And so in terms of marketing, you go, 80% of my time was spent on like social media, and it was giving me maybe 20% of my orders. And I was spending almost no time on this little piddly newsletter that no one cared about. It was the Cinderella product. And it was giving me 80% of my orders.
Wow.
So I loved social media, and I still continue to love it. Mm-hmm. But there's this like Cinderella product called the newsletter. And what I would say to people is like, use social media in really smart ways so that actually you build your list. Mm-hmm. Because that's the most important sales tool of all, is if you can have the conversation with your customer directly, that's the smart thing. In terms of influencers, it's a good question. We have some amazing people who wear our jeans, but again, that's kind of luck. And we don't really pay influencers to wear our jeans. The great thing is, if you actually make a really amazing product and they love it, they're going to wear it. I mean, you don't have to pay them. The better the product, the less you have to pay them. That's and amazing. 0 is the best price of all. I know that might be contentious because you'll go, and look, don't get me wrong, influencers absolutely have influence. And we were lucky. A certain someone wore our jeans, and we had a waiting list for a year. Mm-hmm. We had to go to a bigger factory. So I've seen firsthand what these amazing people can do. But Meghan Markle wearing our jeans was just luck again. We got lucky. I think we did an awful lot of hard work to get to that luck. And when that moment came, we were skilled enough to take advantage of the luck. But yeah, got lucky. It's fine.
That's amazing. I think what you're saying, or rather underplaying, is the quality of your product, which is something I think you guys are focusing heavily on or relying on.
Yeah,
and also, when you say that influencers just pick it up, that means that it should be some sort of, it should be meeting a particular quality threshold or something that they have never worn before, that they are willing to promote it at 0 cost. So that's something I think you're underplaying.
I think it's if you make a great product and it's genuinely so much better than anything else, mm-hmm. like you don't really have to advertise that much, because people will just go, hey, you make the best jeans in the world. I think we do in terms of quality and skills. So it's kind of much easier to play that game. Then your product is no better. I have to now go and get some influence, so I have to go and pay influencers to promote a product that is actually no better than anything else. That's quite a tricky business. So if you want to put more money into your product, and then actually that's a much better place to be. More design, more thinking, more innovation into your product. That's a much better way to stand out in a busy world.
Absolutely. So you've been speaking about how lucky you got. Let's speak a little bit about the challenges that you had, so that a lot of brands, when they're starting off, hit a roadblock, have a lot of hiccups, and they have to make a lot of decisions to get past those roadblocks. What were the roadblock moments for you?
I mean, one of the things for us is we didn't want to raise too much money. We wanted to have some shareholders that would help us in terms of advice, obviously, and with some money, but we didn't want to go the venture capital route, although we could do, because we'd had a considerable success prior to what we're doing, and so we had a track record, and so we could have gone pumped a lot of money into it. But our experience last time around was actually, we love owning our own company. We love having the freedom to make our own decisions and not have to report to anyone. And so we chose to climb our particular mountain in a slower, more, in some respects, boring way. Is we wouldn't raise a bunch of money. That meant actually, cash flows, particularly at the beginning, going to be terrible. Like it's kind of to build a global brand when your marketing budget was all spent on the coffee machine is a challenge. Just is. And so at that point, everyone out there now goes, well, you have to, the struggles will come, and what you have to battle is with those struggles is your determination to actually make this happen. And sometimes it's sheer bloody will. And you go, but the metric that I do love is if you have an idea, and it can just be one idea, it's enough to go and make a company. And the ideas go to anyone. I mean, they literally don't care, who your mom and dad is, what car they drive, what school they went to. They literally don't give a shit. They're like, ideas, like, they're just nice. Yeah. They just want to be nice to anyone and everyone. And you go, yeah, just have enormous, brilliant, mad ideas, and then you got a chance.
Wonderful. So talking about metrics, let's talk about some of the metrics that you concern yourself with. What are the North Star metrics? You mentioned earlier that owned channel is what is fetching you a lot more success compared to social media channels. So what kind of metrics are you capturing for those channels, as well as how do you measure the impact of different channels on your revenue?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot going on at the moment, in as much as, there's a big thing with Apple and Facebook and data. Yeah. So, like the ads that used to work, don't, and no one's really talking about it. And everyone's super busy, and the good places are really super competitive. If you want to stand out now on Instagram, you have to be doing something that is exceptional. And so the component part of that is this is where it really should ground us all, is the best metric is the more creative you are, the more attention you're going to get. So that's regardless of your social media platform, the best metric is that, the more creative you are, the more attention you'll get. The more attention you will get, you're going to grow. And so it comes back to, like, just have more ideas. Like, whatever you need to smoke, whatever you need to drink, or if you go running, however you have ideas, go and have more ideas, because that is how you stand out in a busy world. It's everyone's busy. No one here is going, oh, I don't have enough email, I don't have enough meetings. You go, oh, like, no one's saying that. And so it's like you're in the attention business, and you think, oh, you're in the jeans business. Oh, you're in the attention business, and everyone's busy.
So just curious to know, how do you keep track of your ideas, and what are your methods to not be creatively exhausted? Do you have a swipe file, or do you just network with the right kind of people? How do you basically, I absolutely agree that you have to be creative to stand out, but how do you keep getting better at creativity? Because it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. How do you do that?
I mean, like anything, right? So if you go to the gym once, you don't get very fit. Creativity is a muscle. So if you practice every day, I mean, James Altucher has a way of, like creative, using his creative muscle, and that is he has to have 10 new ideas every day. And so all he's doing is taking his ideas to the gym. And so, so you can have a system. Systems do help. And Tiago Forte, he has a second brain system. He's a really good course. He does an online course. So you can use Evernote and whichever thing you use to build your swipe files. But like making sure that you're writing every day, or scribbling or doodling or doing something every day. I mean, in 100 days, how much better will you be? And people go, the interesting thing is, the biggest difference you can make to your business is have better ideas, right? And then you think, how much time did I actually spend today on ideas? And people go, oh, I didn't have time for that. You go, you don't have time to spend time on the thing that is materially going to change your business because you're too busy. Busy is this incredible trap, and we all fall into it. And so we don't spend time today on ideas, and yet that's actually the thing that will grow our business. And so we have to create a system, a time system where you go, hey, man, if I don't spend time today on my ideas, I should be fired. I mean, as a CEO, an entrepreneur, I should fire myself if I'm not in the optimum zone and I spend too much time in the busy zone. Most entrepreneurs listening to this, they're spending too much time in the busy zone. And it's a curse. I mean, we've all been there. Hands up. I've been there. You've been there. We've all been there. The key thing is not to stay there.
Absolutely. So wonderfully put. When we talk about acquisition, so we have been primarily talking about social media and influencer, own channel marketing, all from acquisition standpoint. How do you retain customers? I know for probably you would say, of course, again, quality of the product matters if people are going to come back to your product. But outside of quality, what are the other ways that you can retain the customers who have already made one or two purchases from your brand?
Yeah, I mean, I think, the problem for us is when you make a jean that is so well made, it doesn't really wear out that often. And but one of the things that we do, which like in some respects you go, well, why do you do that? It doesn't make any sense. I mean, we offer a free repairs for life.
Wow.
So if suddenly after 3 years your pocket breaks out and you go, oh, I love these jeans, but my pocket's broken, they send it back, we repair it, and then they get more life out of it. And you go, well, why would you do that? Well, you're not really selling more jeans. And sometimes it takes more time to repair a jean than actually make a jean. So like there'll be economists going, oh my God, that's ridiculous. Apart from, they trust you. Trust is one of the most important things you can have with another human being. And so when they do go to purchase another jeans, you're going to be very much up there with the other contenders. And because you've done something really hard, and that is like to earn their trust. And so in terms of acquisition or keeping people is you have to, with us, with our newsletters and various things, our policy is always not always to sell. We've all got those friends, haven't we? If there's two friends, one who literally always calls you, and as soon as you see that name, you go, oh, what do they want now? And then there's another friend that just tells you about this podcast. Oh, you should see this podcast. Listen to this podcast. It's amazing. Oh, by the way, I've sent you the book. I've just read this book. You should read it. I sent it as a gift. So who do you want to take a phone call from? And if we actually think about where actually we are in, a relationship business, is which friend do you want to be? Do you want to be the one that just your heart sinks when you go, oh, it's them again? and we've all got those friends. We've all got that friend. We're just like, man, what do they want now? Don't be that friend.
Brilliant. And this is so deep. I'm so speechless. Taking a slight detour here about shipping, I think in one of your interviews you had mentioned that returns are still a challenge for your company. When it comes to shipping, I think that is where most e-commerce brands face some sort of a hurdle. How do you crack the challenge of shipping next day, shipping same day, shipping in an hour? How do you keep matching the expectations of your customers as far as delivery is concerned?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great question, because it is that thing of, like, people want everything like yesterday. And the problem for us is, we make, if we don't have something in stock, they might have to wait a month for a pair of jeans. And I mean, our customers have learned that actually, if they want something that is as good as we make it, is sometimes you have to wait. And you can get any other jeans tomorrow, but you can't get ours tomorrow. So sometimes making a virtue of your weakness, or what you think might be a weakness, going, oh, they're gonna have to wait 10 days for this. You go, well, yeah, but they can have any jean they want in the world tomorrow. But if they want the best jeans, they have to wait, and it's okay. And so, I mean, I know Amazon Prime has taught us not to wait for anything, but we're not in that business. And I say to the grandmasters who make our jeans, I say, look, Rolls-Royce make more cars than we make jeans. To give it context, we make 12,000 a year, and that's just not very many. Do you mean? So the demand is more than we can make, and you go. So sometimes they have to wait. Now, if they don't want to wait, they kind of don't get the jean.
That's brilliant. That's mind-blowing. Thank you so much, David, for coming on our podcast and leaving us with very deep insights. Thank you so much.
My pleasure, and nice to meet you. Take care.